Hi everybody, I'm Gary, and welcome to another Dollar Treasure Hunter. That's me. And today I'm going to share with you some exciting finds from the second week we came back to Florida. The previous episode, of course, was the premiere, and that's where I explain a little bit about what Dollar Treasure Hunter is all about. So let me share a little bit of that with you now. My wife and I come down to Florida, and we also have a primary residence in Ohio. We're in Florida, as you can tell right now, and we've been out going to yard and garage sales for about a month, maybe in a week or so. We came down here in about the end of October. Now it's the first week of December. So as I started this channel with the first video last week, I'm going to try to catch up in the next couple weeks here, and then we'll have a pace of about one video a week where I share with you what we find in this area here in either Central Florida, where we will go out to large community sales, sometimes a thrift shop or an estate sale, but not too often. You know, that's really not our sweet spot. We're not big spenders, so the whole idea of Dollar Treasure Hunter is to, what can you get at a garage sale or a yard sale for about $1, maybe 50 cents or even less, or a couple bucks. We found that if we go to a community sale where there might be 20 to 40 homes, and that's pretty common down here and also in Central Ohio, that's what we focus on. So we might hit the sales around 8 o'clock if that's when that particular community is having their sale, and then we'll be there till noon or 1 o'clock. We'll bring out food actually to kind of keep things going, so we'll probably skip breakfast and get right out there, so we're one of the first to get into that community and see what we can find. And so usually there are lots of treasures that we find for very little. And I want to share that with you and give you some tips along the way and make it fun. And at the end, I always share what was the best deal of the whole weekend, because we're typically out Friday and Saturday. And then, what's the coolest thing we found? Because almost every week we find something we can't believe that somebody would sell for as little as we're able to get it for. So without further ado, let's get started on this particular episode. And the first find that I'm going to share with you is called a green garden tool. Now look at this thing. This was 50 cents. I got this and another little gadget that I won't be sharing with you because it's not really worth sharing. It's not nearly as nice as this. This is a garden tool. It has multiple gadgets on it. Here's a weed digger, a knife, really sharp. It also has this pruner, which is sharp as it can be. It has a saw, and this is like a digging tool, I believe. And then it's got a serrated edge on it. So this was 50 cents. And as you'll see here on the screen to the right or left of me, I have to see when I'm putting this together, that the local or the comps on eBay, and that's what I'll use to show you what these have sold for recently. One was for $9.99, looks just like this, and one sold for $14.95 recently. So for 50 cents, I thought that was a pretty good deal. And I'll be putting that on our brand collective online sales platforms. We sell on Mercari, we sell on Depop, eBay, and Poshmark, and you can put tools, I believe, on any of those. So that is the first thing I wanted to share. Secondly, on this UPS ball cap. Now I love hats. I've got well over 100 of them, I know. And this is one I saw, and I just had to have it. Now they had this price. You can even see a little tag there. These people put prices, and I like it when you can find prices on stuff. A lot of times they don't, but I don't mind. I always ask, but it's nice if they had a price. Now, this is like new. There's no sweat marks or anything like it. It's pretty nice. I like a hat like this. I'll probably sell it, but it might be one I'd wear even. It cost $1. What happened was this and the next item, the woman had 2 on this and 4 on another hat that I really like. You'll see here in a minute, and that would have been $6. I offered 4. So in essence, I took $1 off of each thing, and she accepted the offer of $4 for both hats. So that brought this one down to $1, and then the other one you'll see to $3. It's a lot for me to spend $3 on a hat, but it's one that I really liked, and so I was willing to do it. Normally 50 cents or $1 is about my max on a hat, but I love hats. A lot of you guys, I know what you mean, and some of you ladies also love to wear ball caps, of course. Now, some comps on this. One was $19.99 on eBay. It was similar, it was a UPS hat, not just like this. There were no solds or unsolds on eBay on this particular hat, and that happens sometimes. It's a unique item. And the other one was $14.99, but for $1, this is a very nice hat. It kind of goes with just about anything, and it's kind of quite casual look to it. So anyway, that was something I really liked. Okay, the next item is the other hat. As you can see, they had $4 on this particular hat, and it says Power Fuels. It's a camo hat. Oh, I love camo hats. You can see I've got the one right here, which I wear all the time. It's my Ferguson hat. People ask me, do you work at Ferguson? No, but I think it looks great, and just like this Power Fuels hat. What a cool hat. So for $3, it's got a little insignia, dry duck on the side here. It's real nice. It says Wildlife Series Authentic. It'd be good for a hunting hat, and there's no sweat or anything, so it shows that it's pretty much never been worn. That's the only kind of hat I'll get. I don't buy a hat, of course, that's a mess. But anyway, what a nice hat. $3. Maybe I overspent. Let me know what you think. You think I spent a bit too much? Now, this particular one, once again, there were no Power Fuels camouflage hats. Some comparable ones that might look similar, that have maybe, this is a nice stitching and all. One was $19.98, one was $15.98. So once again, I thought this would probably, I'd resell it maybe for, I don't know, maybe $12, something like that. Maybe a little more. The third item I wanted to share with you were these leather gauntlet cuff work gloves. Now, I work around the house a lot. I work in the yard, and I have a half an acre lot in Ohio, a little place here, but still, when you're out, it's nice to have a good pair of work gloves. Now, these are vintage. I think they've been around. Now, they're really clean. I don't think they've been used. If they have, it's been barely. And they're like new. Really well made, I could tell. But in the price, they had a price inside, which is $1.59. So I know that these are real old. They've probably been sitting in somebody's shed for a long time. The person, I don't quite remember where I got them, but it's probably something that's been in there for like 20 years or something. But they're in really good shape still, leather. And I paid $1 for these, if you recall that. Some of the comparables, these are not cheap. They range anywhere from $8.99 to $34.99. Now that's a bit of a stretch, I admit. something like that, maybe closer to $7 to $10 would seem like a fair price. But you know, having a good pair of work gloves when you're out there, it really makes a difference. It's worse than getting blisters and cuts and stuff if you're working in thorny areas or anywhere where there, you know, it's maybe around splintered wood, or if you're working, you know, with if you're cutting wood or working in the garden and so on. So anyway, another find, I thought that was a pretty good deal for $1. Now this next item, I don't get a lot of kitchenware, but I saw this and it was priced at $2, and I just thought it was a really good deal. It's got the glass lid. This is a egg poacher, and it's got these little egg and with silicone covered egg poach containers, and you put water, of course, inside here, and then it steams them, and so then you have 4 little poached eggs that you can eat. They come out with, each have a nice handle. Anyway, now I can remember specifically the lady, because I don't, you know, usually if on an item like this for $2, I would have paid the $2 easily. But for some reason, I decided I wanted to, you know, that was a day where I was trying to really work on to get some great deals. So I offered $1. Well, she thought it was funny, and we went back and forth and joked about it. You know, I was being a little cheap, I guess. So she didn't want to let it go for $1. So I paid $2, and that was a fair price. So underneath it says Eggs Essentials. It's stainless steel. So for $2, I saw these, and they have a lot of different types of solds of these online on eBay, and they range from $18, $22.90, and $28.99 were just some examples. So for $2, I thought it was still a pretty good deal. And it just goes to show you, you know, if you're looking to save money, and of course times are not easy right now for anybody, and so nothing wrong with finding really good opportunities. Garage sales much better than a thrift store. You know, if that were in the thrift store, it'd probably been $5 to $8. I got it for $2. You can find really great. I do get, you know, I like a big fry pan. I look for those, and I look for knife sharpeners, things like that, you know, for the kitchen, because I do like to cook. And if I see a deal there, I'll definitely take advantage of it. Okay, the next item is another kitchen item. I don't buy tons of those, but I do, as I said, I like to cook a little bit when I get the chance. And the next item I found at the same sale where I purchased the egg poacher, that 4-egg poacher that I just mentioned. And on this particular, this is called a Hamilton Forge 6-inch meat cleaver. And I did find these similar to these on eBay, some solds. They cost me $1. Didn't give her much hassle on that. It was definitely worth $1, and really nice quality. It's clean and beautiful piece. They run anywhere on eBay, and the solds from $6.99, for instance, is one. There were some around $23.50, and they go up from there. I mean, some of the nicer ones are over $100, but this particular one, you know, it's probably worth about $8 to $10, I would say. So I really thought that would be something I could use here. The next set of items is really what I'm going to consider my best deal of the day, and that's always part of the show. So it's not one thing, it's 5. I was at a sale. This particular sale kind of just right across, really close to where I live here in Central Florida at the Highland Lakes. It's a 55 plus community. They had probably 50, 60 homes having sales. That's where all this is coming from. And this one lady had a bin full of Harley T-shirts. Now, there were other things in there, but her husband was an avid writer. He had passed away some time back, and she was kind of just cleaning things out. So I bought 5 of them. I found 4 in that particular bin that I like. I like dark colored backgrounds, like a black T-shirt with a nice design, or a brown or a green, something like that. Had quite a few. There were 4 I really liked. She wanted 2 apiece. I asked her, what, they didn't have them priced. I offered 6 for the 4, and she accepted that. And then later I found a 5th one. When she'd mentioned, after I was ready to go, that she'd found a few more in a different bin, and I found one in there I liked too, and that was $2. So 8 for the 5. Now, these are really nice. They're extra larges, have great designs on each one. This one is from Orlando, Harley Davidson, the Oktoberfest 2007. So it's very, it's just very cool, I think it's the kind of thing that, if you're like vintage T-shirts, that especially vintage Harley T-shirts, like they're definitely a plus. They're among the best I've seen. Another one, this was from Chili Cook-Off, the Leesburg Fire Department, and that's near a town where I live here in Central Florida. They hosted this, it was a charity event, probably about that same time in the mid-2000s, all the sponsors. So it was the Gator Harley Davidson Chili Cook-Off, and that's a dealership here, a Harley dealer in Leesburg, Florida. This is another really nice one. It's a little subdued on the front. It's got the pocket with the Harley insignia, and on the back it says Orlando Harley Davidson. Really nice color and in great shape. All these are. Barely ever, if worn maybe once, if that. And a lot of guys will just buy the shirts and keep them, never wear them, and that seems to be the case here. This one, it was from Daytona, the 75th anniversary of Bike Week in Daytona, Florida, Daytona Beach. Got a really cool graphic here on the back too. And then finally, I'm assuming he took a road trip at some time. This particular one is from Dale's Harley Davidson in Mount Vernon, Illinois. So what a drive. So it was really nice. They're all really great. The designs are nice. The shirts are in great shape. And these sell for, upwards to $20, $35 or more a piece. These are all vintage. I found, just for a few, I found comparable ones. It's hard to find an exact match when it comes to T-shirts because, they're pretty, when you go to any kind of a motorcycle or automobile event or any place where they sell them, there are literally hundreds to choose from, lots of vendors. So finding one that's for sale that looks exactly the same is not that easy. And that was the case here. I didn't really find any exact matches, but I did find some that were from the same event. So you'll see them here, of course, some solds on eBay. So this first, the Oktoberfest Harley T-shirt, which cost $1.50. That one is similar Oktoberfests from that time period, where one was $13.99, one was $27.75. For the Gator Leesburg, that charity fundraiser, I found some other Harley T-shirts that were from the dealership events. They have a festival here, a big Harley festival in Leesburg that they put on. One at $18, one at $24.30, one at $34, and I think that's 15 cents. So there were others that were comparable. For the Orlando Harley Davidson, that was another $1.50. There was one I found at $29.99. For the Bike Week, the 75th anniversary, there were some for that anniversary, none that looked the same. I paid $1.50 for that. $14.95 and one at $14.99. And for that Mount Vernon, that was the one I found later. I paid $2 for that one, and they have some they sell at $22 and $24.99. I also found a t-shirt that is a Marine Corps t-shirt. It looks like it's for veterans, because on the back it says, "Not as mean, not as lean, but still a Marine." And you know, once and always a Marine. And so it's got a really nice design on the back. It's pretty nice. It's an extra large, as all these are. So it's in great shape as well. That was $1. And then I did find some other things that I'm going to keep. And these were each 50 cents a piece. I found this really cool multi-function knife for 50 cents. And actually, I think it came in a deal with that multi-tool garden tool. I got that and this for $1, so they were each 50 cents. And this has all these cool things. It's got the flathead screwdriver and the bottle opener. It's also got a can opener on go right there. It's got the scissors that work. It's got a sharp knife. It also has, of course, a Phillips head, as typically they do. It has a puncher, and it's got a bottle opener. Or no, I'm sorry, like a wine cork puller. Yeah, there you go. But it's a cheapie. I'm going to keep it. I wouldn't sell it. It'd be hard to, you know, it's not worth a whole lot. It's a made in China. It's not a Swiss brand Army knife or anything, but it's a nice tool. So I'm going to keep that at 50 cents. And then I also did get some, in a different sale, at that same community sale in a different house, they had a bunch of t-shirts in a bin, men's t-shirts. And so, you know, you can never have enough work t-shirts. So I bought, this is a Eddie Bauer t-shirt. It's just plain for 50 cents, really good shape. Same thing, this is a Russell athletic wear, real thick cotton. Both of these are great shape, looks like never really worn. 50 cents on that, and someone went on a cruise evidently and got this Caribbean, probably from one of the cruise lines, as a souvenir. So I can wear those around gardening and working in the yard and so on. So just thought I'd share that with you. So overall, how did I do? Well, let's take a look at it. Can't forget the last thing. Let's do that first. You know, at the end of every show, not only do I give you the best deal, which those were the Harley shirts, 5 of those at $8. I also got a really cool thing that you've never probably ever imagined that this would happen, but you know, I think it was really a smart move. Evidently in Maine, the Correctional Institute has, you know, prisoners, they work on things, and they have a store. And evidently, according to the person I bought this from, this Acorn Bird House, the prisoners, those prisoners who, you know, want to work and learn a trade, they build things. They build wood crafts and different kinds of novelties, and they sell them at this large prison corrections institute store in Maine, and that's where this came from. I bought it for $2. It's beautifully done. You know, a lot went into this because it's just made out of wood, and they've done a really good job of putting this together. This really well-crafted birdhouse. That is the coolest thing, I think, by far, that I found this week. And so I always want to share something different. If you've ever seen this, let me know. Or if you've seen anything like this, maybe they have something similar in whatever state you live in. I'd like to hear about it. But tell me what you think. It's pretty cool, huh? So now, let's do a quick recap to see how I did. I'm going to go through each item and I'll just remind you what I paid and what I'm going to try to be selling these for, and then we'll kind of see how I did. The cleaver, I spent $1. I'm going to offer that at 10, and that's a pretty good price considering what most of them are going for, well over 20 something. Garden tool, the multifunction I showed you at 50 cents, I will list that at 8, and those were also selling for like 20 and high teens and over $20 each. The UPS hat, that was really nice, spent $1, I will list that at 12. Camo hat, I really love it, at $3, I list that at 15. The leather work gloves, that was $1, I will post at $8. The egg poacher, which I paid $2 for, and they're selling for in the mid-20s and up, I will sell at $20. The Marine Corps shirt I paid $1 for, I will list that at 12. The Harley T-shirts, overall I paid $8 total for. I would sell for about $15 to $18 each. We'll say 15, so that's by far my best deal. I think I'll make at least 75, and those should turn over quick. Now, I understand not everything's going to sell that fast, and some may never sell, but overall, the potential is there. And so I bought a total of 17 items. If you divide it out, I spent $21.50, so that means I spent about $1.26 on each item on average, which I believe I can sell for about $185, and that's what I'll be putting out there. So I hope you enjoyed the show today, and I hope you can see how by just spending a little time on a weekend, you can go out and find all kinds of treasures for very little. If you want to make money at it, that's very possible. You can set up an account on eBay or Poshmark or Mercari or Depop or any of the other sales platforms and put it out there for very little to get started. In my case, like in this particular instance, I'm keeping a few things and I'll put other things out there for others. So that's the end today of Dollar Treasure Hunter, and I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you coming. Always stay to the end, please, and that really makes a big difference. I'd appreciate if you could subscribe if you haven't, comment, share the channel, and I hope you'll come back every week because I'll be catching up here shortly with what we've done already, and then about every week you'll see a new video with the finds from that particular weekend. So have a great day and have a great week, and thank you for watching. Take care.